Good day everyone, it's Dr. Rida Khan and welcome back to my channel Medico's Guide. And first of all, I really want to apologize from all of you for not uploading videos for so long as I was taking my exams, you already know. So as I've just got free, so I've decided to upload so many videos, especially on the musculoskeletal physical therapy, as majority of you were requesting to upload these videos as your midterms are approaching near, I know. And I'll be making, of course, the videos on other topics too. And let me know in the comment box what topic you want a video on. So without further ado, let's get right into it. In this video, we'll take a start of the chapter number 11 of musculoskeletal physical therapy. And this chapter is right here. This is the joint, connective tissue and bone disorders and their management. It is on the page number 336. So our first heading is the difference between arthritis and arthrosis. Now first of all you need to know that the word arthron is a Greek word and it means relating to a joint. So it means that in the word arthritis, the word arthron means joint or relating to a joint, and the word itis always means inflammation. So it means that there is inflammation in the joints. While in arthrosis, as we cannot see any term like itis, it means that there is no inflammation but only the limitation of the joints. Now the arthritis can be of inflammatory or non-inflammatory type. Let's discuss them one by one. So now let's dive into its types. So the first one is non-inflammatory arthritis. Now this is basically a group of conditions which is also known as mechanical arthritis, degenerative arthritis or wear and tear arthritis. Now basically these names make this condition seem very simple but actually they are very complex. What is the mechanism here is actually there is a breakdown or damage to the different parts of the joints. For example, the cartilage, and the causes of it are not exactly known, but there can be some risk factors including genetics, body weight or joint strains. Now this type of arthritis is a localized condition. What does it mean? It means that it stay in the joints that is affected and it do not spread around the body. And the most common example of the non-inflammatory arthritis is osteoarthritis. Now let's dive into the inflammatory type of arthritis, and here basically it is also referred to as autoimmune arthritis or autoinflammatory arthritis. Now what is the mechanism here? So it is due to the immune system malfunctioning which causes our body to attack itself. And in many cases our body mistakenly sends large amount of inflammation to our joints, and then this inflammation starts attacking our joints, and then these joints become painful, swollen, and this is what is the inflammatory arthritis. Now, this type of arthritis is a systemic condition. What does it mean? It means that when they are left untreated, they may spread around the body, causing inflammation in the other joints and the organs. And the most common type of inflammatory arthritis are the rheumatoid arthritis, psoriatic arthritis, ankylosing spondylitis, and the lupus, which is also referred to as systemic lupus erythematosus. Now, in any kind of arthritis, it is very important to know the underlying pathology of the condition so that we can make diagnosis, determine the prognosis, and so that we can carry out the management effectively. Now, it is very easy to get confused in the similar sounding terms like diagnosis and prognosis, so let's dive into it. Now, the first term is diagnosis. It means to identify a condition or a disease based on symptoms or the test results. Now, diagnosis can be specific or general. Specific means that naming a condition or a disease, while the general can be describing the symptoms. And it is often a combination of medical history, physical examination, and laboratory test. The examples can be, for example, a doctor made a diagnosis of pneumonia based on the chest x-ray and symptoms. Now our next term is prognosis, and it basically is defined as a likely outcome as well as to what extent it can be achieved and in how much time it can be achieved. It is also referred to as the chance of recovery of a disease or a condition. Then it can be positive, being favorable, or negative, being unfavorable. Then it is often based on the factors such as age, overall health, or the stage of the disease. For example, we can say that the prognosis of this type of arthritis is poor, or if the diagnosis is flu, then the prognosis would be full recovery after lots of rest. Additionally, the understanding of underlying pathology is also very important for the specific management of the patient. For example, if the patient has traumatic arthritis, which means that if there was a trauma and this has led the accumulation of the blood in the joints, so the patient would require aspiration, that is, the drainage of the blood that has accumulated within the joints. Now, the clinical signs and symptoms. Now, basically, these are the four signs and symptoms that are common in all types of arthritis. And these signs and symptoms are number one, impaired mobility, impaired muscle performance, impaired balance, and activity limitation and participation. Now, let's discuss them one by one. Now, the first point is impaired mobility. Now, whenever the joint is involved, there are some typical signs of the joint involvement. These signs can be capsular pattern. The capsular pattern is basically the characteristic limitation of the pattern. And on my channel, there is a separate video with the name of capsular versus non-capsular pattern. I will share its link in the description below. Other signs can be the altered Enfield. Now, Enfield is basically the sensation or the feeling when you palpate the joint at the end of its available range of motion. Now, Enfield in the arthritic conditions is firm unless the condition is acute. So, which means that in the acute conditions, due to the muscle contracture as well as the joint and connective tissue contracture, there can be more severe condition, and in that case, the Enfield may be guarded. It means that you may not be able to palpate the Enfield there. Now let's talk about the other signs that these patients can present with. This can be decreased or possibly painful joint play. There can be swelling in the joint, which is referred to as effusion. Or if the patient has sustained fracture or any condition that requires immobilization, there can be arthrosis which is the limitation of a joint. Then there can also be some contractures, for example, of the connective tissue of the muscles, which can result in the limited joint play. Now the next point is impaired muscle performance. Now why there is impaired muscle performance? So as we have said that there is inflammation and swelling and there is pain in the joint, that's why it is resulting in the refraining of the movement by the patient. Because the patient feels pain, that's why he is not moving, which is resulting in the disuse of the muscles, or you can say the reflex inhibition of the muscles. Now this reflex inhibition and the disuse is resulting in the weakness of the muscles. And when there is weakness, what will happen? It would cause imbalances in the strength and the flexibility of the muscles. And this would result in the poor support to the joint. And when there is poor support to the joint, what will happen? It would cause deforming forces to be applied on the joint, and that's why it can make the joint more susceptible to the stresses. While if the patient has good muscle support, it would protect the arthritic joint from the stresses as well as from the trauma. Now the next point is impaired balance. Why there is impaired balance? Because of the change in the sensory input. Change, or it can be a decreased sensory input from the joint mechanoreceptors or the muscle spindles, and this is resulting in the balance deficits. And this is a particular problem that is seen in the weight bearing joints, for example the hips, knees. So these are more susceptible to the balance deficits. Now the last point is activity limitation and participation. Now because of all of these points that we have discussed above, the patient may have difficulty in performing any activity. It can be like carrying out some task in home, community, or it can be a work related or any social activity. So all of these activities can be minimally affected or significantly restricted. And what the patient does in such a situation, he has to use adaptive or the assistive devices so that he can limit the deforming forces that are acting on the joints in order to improve the function. And how we can come to know if the functional status of the patient has improved in response to the intervention that is being applied on the patient. So for that we have various instruments, that is functional instruments, or you can say classification systems and the questionnaires in order to assess that. And these are used in the clinical studies as well as in the routine practice. So that's all from today's video. I hope that everything is clear to you, and still you have any query, you may ask in the comment box below. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, as well as if you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share with your friends, as well as turn on the notification bell so that you may not miss any new videos. And take care of yourself. Bye.